Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this YouTube live session. I've got Swati with me, who's an IIT Delhi and Wharton pass out. Wharton alumni, and she has done amazingly well in her academic life as well as professional life. So we'll be taking a lot of ideas from her, and I think I have some. Okay. So as I said, as we have communicated, so this is all about entrepreneurship. How and a lot of students ask me, and sitting in Delhi, I get a lot of business families, very big business families also, who want their children to be trained on entrepreneurship. In fact, for a lot of years, almost 10 to 11 years, we've been recommending state-run summer camps like EDIA Ahmedabad has summer camps, as well as we have sent people outside to various places like Babson College and some of the topmost colleges in the world for entrepreneurship. So today our idea is to let you guys understand more about entrepreneurship. How to There's a way to think. So how do you go about doing it? And no one is better than Swati here who would share ideas. So Swati, tell us a little bit about your journey. Like how did you start? As in you were going to be a techie, so you are at IIT. Yeah. So you were at IIT, and today you are totally into I would say you're an education entrepreneur who's scaling up and building up things. So
Yeah,
so uh, so tell us about your early days and tell us about your school life also. A lot of school children come and talk to me.
of
So tell us
course.
about what were you thinking when you were in school? Which school did you go to?
Of course. No, so I was, so my dad was in, banking. So every 3 years you get transferred in that job. So I have studied across cities ranging from Patiala to Chandigarh. I'm from Punjab, but I've also studied in Mumbai, right? So across schools, CBSE, ICSE, and that kind of makes you very, very adaptable, I feel. And that is one thread that I've always taken with me wherever I've gone. But to answer your question, so while I was growing up, like typical Indian parent thinking that, hey, if your child is smart, get them to do JE and prepare them for JE, right? So prepared for JE, was taking my coaching in Chandigarh, and with God's grace, cleared IIT, and got into IIT Delhi. I went to the electronics engineering. I was getting computers. I was one of those kids who said, "Hey, I know I don't want to do engineering, so computer will be too tough for me. Let me just get something which is easier." So obviously, electronics was the next step. And once you go to a college like that, I think a lot changes. Smart people around you, and even today, 80% of IITians are going either in business roles or are going and doing MBA afterwards, right? We keep hearing BTech kar lo, phir MBA kar lena, and I think that happens only in India. So did that, and you would realize that a lot of founders, even these days, are IITians, which are actually engineers, and they might be running completely startups. I think what changes you when you go to a college of like that is just the inspiration that you get from your seniors and people around you, right? So I feel that any college, if they have done the right job of getting the right high quality smart kids in, then it would automatically build a culture of entrepreneurship. And that's how it started. I mean, I did my startup probably after 7 years of work experience. A lot of kids these days are starting up in college. The ecosystem is there. I was graduated in 2013. Now, in fact, at Masters Union, around 30% of our students right now are building something, right? And given just
Wow.
the curriculum, where we ask everybody to build something over long time, like in our third year we ask everybody compulsorily to do an entrepreneurship capstone where they build a startup. So then everybody would do it. But even today, like 18-year-olds in their first year, when they're building, and every day I am mentoring one or two who come to me and say, hey, we're building a thrift store, which I learned recently what a thrift store is. It's the luxury products which are used, and you kind of trade them. And there are other startups that kids are
I
building.
remember, I remember early days when I grew up. For some point of my time, I was in UP, various cities of UP. I
Yeah.
remember Chota Bhai will get the shirt of Bada Bhai. Very simple. So
Ah,
that was so.
true.
That was also so. And if you get a cut here, you go and get it rafu done. Go and get a rafu done.
Correct. Go to the
So
tailor and get
you
it
would not throw
fixed.
away the document. Yeah, I think so. It is again coming back, and
It's
like
coming.
virtual thrifting. A lot of my students have established virtual thrifting marketplaces. So it's a hot area to look at. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So अच्छा, so IIT में बहुत पढ़ना पड़ता है क्या? I mean, how much time do you have to study in IIT? A lot of people ask me like,
Yeah, so I think it is true that एक बार IIT कर लो life set है because ज़्यादा पढ़ना नहीं पड़ता है. So
oh,
I remember we used to open our books around a week before the exams, and that was early. I was one of the early kids who would open it a week before. A lot of my batchmates would open the book a day before, and we are
oh,
all doing well in our lives. So I guess it's all good.
amazing, amazing, amazing. So, coming to entrepreneurship, so how does one start? Like, how do I look at which area should I start off with? If I am a person, I'm interested in, I feel that, hey, maybe I can bootstrap, and maybe I just have 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees. They're not a very big amount, but I still want to start. So, which area to start off? How do I think of this? How to evaluate an idea? And a lot of my students, they say, I get a lot of ideas. I'll meet somebody, I get an idea. I see something, I find a brand has done well in some other market, and I get an idea. So, how do I start? What is the basic one, two, three steps to start?
Yeah, so the same question a lot of students at Masters Union also come to me and ask, right? How do we uh, figure out which idea? And in fact, if we have audiences in from Delhi today, I would say that Masters Union is organizing a startup weekend for all the entrepreneurs out there on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're in Delhi NCR, you should come and participate in that, because we're exactly teaching that, right? That you might have 10 ideas, 50 ideas, but not everything makes I would say business sense. For example, I had a student who came and said, hey, there are a lot of medicines in your houses which are unused, right? We take 2 tablets, 3 tablets, and then it's just sitting there in the medical drawer, and nobody's doing anything. Why can't we make like a OLX kind of an app where people can take those used medicines? Now, great idea. But will it make business sense? Will it make revenue? A huge question mark. So should you pursue it? A huge question mark. Though it is great for humanity, it is great for sustainability, right? So when you're deciding on an idea, I think the number one you have to look at it is, what is the market size? How many people need it in India, in a city, in the world? If it scales, what is the upper limit of it? If only a few people need it, you should not pursue it. Second, what is the practicality and feasibility of it? I mean, there could be great ideas of saving the earth, but is it feasible? Can you do it in a good amount of time? It should not take you forever. And third, will it make money? There are so I get a lot of teenagers to me saying, hey, this is a great idea, I'm super passionate about it, all of that. But hey, if it is not making money, then it's a great non-profit that you can build probably, but you can't call it a business idea then, right? A business by definition needs to make money. So I think if you apply all those three filters to, let's say, the 10 problem statements that you have, then you will be able to finalize one or two. And the last I always say is the founder's right to win, right? If today you start a business and I start a business and it's the same problem statement, based on your experiences and what kind of knowledge you have and the skill set you have, you might be better positioned to solve that problem compared to me. And that's what I call the founder's right to win. So win where you have the strength, because that's where there are more chances of success.
Absolutely. I think so well said. And I remember a lot of my clients who have done so well in life. So I remember this particular gentleman, he came and he used to play cricket while he was in school, college. He reached till Ranji level, and then somehow he developed a very strong back pain. It was really his condition was worsening. so he had to sign out of it. But then he realized that a lot of cricketers had problems with the cricket helmet at that time. So he teamed up with his brother and they found a manufacturer who was willing to do things for them. And they started manufacturing cricket helmets. They started because he was in the network of people. So he started selling it in India first. And I remember when he met me, he was selling, like, he and his brother, they had this organization. They were selling helmets in 37 countries, cricket helmets. So
Hmm.
they just built it up big. Yeah, yeah. So I think students, as Swati is saying, first thing is to evaluate, yeah, which areas problems you like to look at. Yeah. Also, maybe you are attracted to something like I know people who love coffee like anything. They're like, hey, I mean, yep, coffee and cookies to go along with coffee, and they would tell you everything about it. Whereas there are some people who would not be interested in it at all, and they're interested more in. I have a friend who, I mean, she just goes crazy when she goes to a interior store where
Yeah.
bed sheets are being retailed, and she would come and talk about curtains, and she has a amazing knack. I mean, in fact, whenever I have to buy, I just call her and ask her that what material to take and what is latest and so on. So depending on what you are really interested in, and sometimes it will take you time, so you'll have to taste things around and maybe get into other people's ventures to taste it rather than putting in your money, and then you finalize that yes, this is what I'm interested in, and then of course build up capabilities on it, and then you can think about it. So at this point I would like to share with everyone, you should check out Y Combinator Startup School 2019-2020. These are like 40 videos which can change your life. I would even go to the extent of saying the material here would be amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing. And yeah, Vandana is asking which books to read to start a business. Vandana, initially, like I tell students to watch a lot of Shark Tank, you know, and so so Shark Tank, especially outside, because you can get to understand what all new is happening. On the other hand, Rashmi Bansal has done a lot of analysis of businesses in India and a lot of startup founders who have done very well. You can check out Rashmi Bansal's books if you want to read books. And more, Swati, which books do you feel should be read?
I would always give examples of the real life, startups that have become big companies now, right? So, Phil Knight's Shoe Dog, which is on how Nike was born, that is amazing. Or you read the biography of Apple founder Steve Jobs, right? I mean, I call one are the category of Gyan books, which are non-fiction and there are a lot of stories. But these books, you read it like a story. These are real stories, and it hooks you up as a novel. But at the same time, it leaves an impression on your mind. So, for example, the Nike story, right? I mean, for us right now, it's a brand. But the way it started in a single room with the person trying to improve shoes, is just amazing. Similarly, how Uber started, all of these books I've read, and that has given me a lot of inspiration.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Ankur. Thanks for appreciation. Great. Akshay is asking fee for UG course at your institution. So if you can share with Akshay how Masters Union charges, and are there any scholarships available and eligibility?
Absolutely. So, a lot of scholarships available. So, for those audiences here who don't know about Masters Union, let me say that hey, we have a 4-year undergrad program in tech and business management. And while we were talking about engineers becoming entrepreneurs, right? We said why not have a course which teaches both tech and business management, because anyway 80% of the BTechs are going into business management roles tomorrow, right? So we are India's first tech and business management course in undergrad. It's a 4-year course where 3 years you spend on the campus, and the last 1 year you spend as an industry training. So it's like a co-op, very similar to how it's done in US. Now, two things about this which differentiate us from anybody else in India. Number one is that our faculty is the leading CEOs and CXOs of the country, right? So we bring in people from Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, IBM, all of that to teach you, so that practitioners are teaching you, and it's very, very practical. Second, the curriculum is so practical that you build a startup as part of the curriculum. You build a dropshipping business as part of the curriculum. You work with a lot of companies in Gurgaon as part of the curriculum. So it's very new age. Go to the website and check out. Now, to the question that has been asked, what is our fee? We are positioned at par with the other premium private institutes in India, right? So I would say, when you talk about, the leading institutes that have come up in the last 10 years, so very similar to that, we are around 37 to 39 lakhs for 4-year program, right? That's where we are. And we have a lot of scholarships. In the last year, we gave students up to 100% scholarship, right? So you can get any range of scholarship depending on your profile. Now, how do you get a scholarship? We have merit based and we have need based. So when you're filling the application form, if you're great at academics, pick the scholarship that applies to academics. If you're great at extracurrics, pick the one that applies to extracurrics. If you need a need-based scholarship, pick that one. So you have to tick that in the admission form, and we will accordingly consider you for that. It's part of your application process. There is no separate application for it.
Great, great. I have another question. Any short-term program for entrepreneurship?
Yes, as I said, this Saturday, Sunday, we are doing a starter weekend. Right, that's a great program that Masters Union is known for, and it's right in the heart of Gurgaon. We are right opposite the Ambience Mall in Gurgaon, right, very close to South Delhi as well. So, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, if you're interested in startup weekend, I would say 21st and 22nd of October, this Saturday, Sunday, we are doing it. Just go to our website, click on events, you will see it there. You can register for it, or just go to the UG website, call the team, and they'll register you for it.
Great, great. Sounds great. Sounds great. Also, student, before I forget, tomorrow morning we are doing a very big show at Sri Fort. Already, we have 35 schools who are getting their students. So, if any other students are interested, we will share a number where students can message, and we'll need to see your I card, because entry is only for school students tomorrow. So, just WhatsApp your I card, and we'll register you and we'll welcome you there. So tomorrow also, I'm speaking. Dr. Aruna Bruta, who is a very well-known psychologist, she's speaking. Swati is also going to be there, and then we have a lot of other people. We'll be taking your questions on Delhi University, Ambedkar University, and so many other universities. We'll be helping you solve
And
your
Masters
career.
Union, if they
Master's
have
in
good.
there, of course, absolutely. Sethi Priya is asking, what degree do you get after your undergrad, and is the degree recognized?
Yes, so we have a partnership with Delhi University. So the degree that you get is Delhi University School of Open Learning. Now, obviously, we can't give you the Delhi University regular degree because we're not a Delhi University affiliated college. This is a very similar partnership that IIM Indore did with IGNU. So till 2018, IIM Indore was in early stages and couldn't give you a degree. So they used to give something called Indira Gandhi National Open University degree. So here it's Delhi University. Students have to, I think the little bit of a hassle is that our students have to give the DU exam. So they go to the DU campus, and after every semester they have to take the DU exam to get this degree.
Great, great. So coming back to entrepreneurship, so what is the next stage? Like maybe I have got an idea. So how do I think further? Uh, when do I get funding? When do I go and approach for angel investment or VC funding? So how's the
Yeah.
process like? If you can quickly share.
Yeah, so the next step is to create a minimum viable product MVP that we talk about. See, there's no point unless you are already a serial entrepreneur or a very successful business person. There's no point going for a funding as a teenager or in your early stages, right? So build an MVP, take it out to the market. Maybe these days, with the kind of tools that exist online, right, you can build a quick app using a no code platform, you can build a quick website, you can just do a lot of things just with WhatsApp today. that just build that functionality and take it to your customer and see how the customer is reacting to it, what kind of functionalities the customer wants to use versus not use, and try and get some revenue in. Even if you're not automated, you're doing certain things manually, but at least if somebody's paying you for a service, that is a proof enough that there is a demand for it. If your revenue is zero and you go to an investor, it's not gonna crack. So I would say build the MVP, do your customer research, build the insights, get the conviction that yes, this is something I want to spend next 3 years, 5 years on, because I feel there is huge potential in this market and it's a huge statement that needs to be solved. Once you've done that, you have at least 100 users, right? If it's a B2C product, let's say you have 100 users, you have some level of revenue, a lakh, 2 lakh, etc., and you feel comfortable enough, then you should start having the seed stage funding discussions. Now a lot of students come to me and say, how do we start that, how do we reach out? The good thing that has happened is a lot of investors right now have launched their own campus programs. So just for college students, right, to promote entrepreneurship, there are so many early stage VCs. Even if you Google it today, you'll see campus program of XYZ investor and all of that. So just keep an eye, subscribe to their newsletters. A lot of these early stage companies do that, and just keep building on these Insta communities and all of that, and you'll get to know.
Okay, great, great. So, okay, can you also highlight some entrepreneurs who started, but they had to completely pivot and they completely changed the business plan? So, any people you can tell from the ecosystem, maybe from India or outside India, who completely changed and then they became very successful?
I would say many, right? When you start, you don't know what kind of service you provide. What kind, like you might think of one problem statement, but that may not be enough. Now, if I talk about, let's say, grocery deliveries, right? When grocery deliveries were starting up, I think the problem they were solving was, we will deliver you the groceries, right? But suddenly Zepto came into the market and said that, hey, grocery delivery is not the problem. The problem is that you forgot to get one, that onion you forgot, or the chips packet you forgot. And the insight they had was that when people need it, they need it now. They are not going to wait for 6 hours, 7 hours to deliver it. And I
Today
think
morning,
that's
I got Tide and Lysol delivered because my maid was
exactly.
after my life for 2 days, but I forgot, and then it came in 10 minutes. Yeah,
Right. So for the problem statement, which was like, hey, people want groceries to be and hence the renaming of Grofers to Blinkit, right? And Blinkit is like, it'll get you delivered in a blink. So I would say this is one example. Not saying that they were not successful earlier, but the insight truly was that, hey, can we make it a 20-minute, 10-minute delivery, so that people get so used to it and it becomes like a addiction product.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great, great, great. So, so I mean, in the world of today, even if I am not from a business class family, and I really want to start my own business, so how easy or difficult is it for me? Do I need a certain kind of thought process? Is there a support system available for me? So, what is actually happening?
So your question is, if I'm not from a family business, then
Yeah, I don't have any business background, so how do I build upon it?
I think a lot of support system available today. I think the downside is that, for example, I don't come from a family business, right? So when
Yeah,
I started upon my own, there were एक बोलते हैं ना कि धंधा mentality. Do you have that? I think that obviously is missing a little bit because you haven't seen your family go through it. But other than that, I would say there is huge support system today available. So the incubators that we work with, that you would work with, right, who will support you in your early stages, the mentors that you'll work with, there is a lot of people who are gonna just support you. And I think one thing that I was taught at Wharton was that your net worth is your network, right? So it's okay if your family is not a family business family, which is completely okay. But at the same time, you will have your seniors, your mentors, And with the digital world that we live in today, everybody is a message away, right? So feel free to build that network, feel free to learn from people on whether it's YouTube or your connections, and you will build that insight. So I don't think you really need your family to be in family business for you to even think of ideas. And I think the advantage of not having a family business is that you're not restricted to one industry. Right
Ah,
now, the world is your oyster, right? You're not saying, hey,
absolutely.
I'll only do real estate because the family is in real estate. Pick the
And a
proper state.
lot of students also say कि मुझे चांदनी चौक में जाके नहीं बैठना. Yeah.
True.
So because
Exactly.
my family has a sari business or some business in Chandni Chowk. So
Huh.
so great, great. So any two things you like to share with students that look, this is really important before you even start thinking on entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I would like to say that entrepreneurship is a cool thing, but a lot of kids are getting FOMO that why I am not doing it. It's okay if you don't want to do it. I get these questions every day that, hey, Masters Union is positioned as an entrepreneurship school. If I don't want to do startup, am I not a student for Masters Union? Absolutely not. When I mean 30% of the students are doing startups right now. When people graduate, only 15% of our students pursue startups, right? 85% still go into jobs. So don't get the FOMO of, hey, should I be doing it? If you're not feeling like doing it, it is okay, don't do it. Right? But if you're feeling that I should do it, or you're neutral and you don't even know whether you'll enjoy it or not, this is the time to explore. So as I said, take the opportunities to go to summer camps. Now, like, we do a lot of it, right? Every summertime we do a summer startup week. Every winters we do a winter startup week. Now, in between, for example, in October we are doing a startup weekend. So take these opportunities and subscribe to these lists so that you know when these things are happening, and go and participate. For example, I love the startup weekend that we organize because so many students either go through the process and say that, hey, you know what, enjoyed it, but not really gonna do it. And then there are others who make friends and co-founders, and they continue to build their startup even after the weekend is done. So I think
Amazing.
just taking that exposure is important. That's the first thing I would do. And second, I would say is just go and talk to people across different industries. Sometimes we are so used to just talking to our relatives, parents, and they all are from the same background, right? A student came to me, had mom and dad were doctors, extended family was doctors, and the child did not want to be a doctor, but he had no clue what else to do. So just take the time to talk to people and understand what they do in their lives so that your horizon broadens and you know what investment banking is, what consulting is, what anything else is, apart from your immediate circle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was great. I would say a lot of discussion around entrepreneurship and how students can look at entrepreneurship in the current age. Also, we have shared opportunities with you. I shared for people who joined in right now. I shared Y Combinator Startup School Winter 2020 and Summer 2019. So you have 40 videos which you can look at. Swati shared about Startup Weekend at Masters Union. I also talked about EDI Ahmedabad, which is a government institute at Ahmedabad. They do an exciting summer camp. And of course, for anything, you can be in touch. Tomorrow morning, Sirford Auditorium will be there at 8:30, and we are starting off at 9 to a very, very powerful workshop in front of more than 2,000 students. So in case you wish to attend, you can WhatsApp us on these numbers. Ribu, if you can just put up the numbers once again. So great. Great. So, thanks a lot, Swati. Thanks for joining in and sharing your ideas, guys. Any help you need, you can be in touch with us. I'm Jitin Chavla. I'm from Center for Career Development, and this was a small YouTube live we did for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thanks, Swati, for joining. Good night.